Hey folks, it's the middle of August and harvest is happening now. But I've got to find a way to preserve some of my root crops. Stay tuned to a homestead hack that my grandfather taught me about preserving root crops without a root cellar. Hey, welcome back to Pine Meadows Hobby Farm. I'm your host, Jerry Hanson. I took some Dollar Tree seeds and I planted them in the garden, and look what they did. So with the help, they grew abundantly. String beans, tomatoes, squash, turnips. Today's episode, I'm going to be harvesting the turnips because they're ready. But I can't eat all these in one setting, so we're going to preserve them, and that's what I'm going to show you from information I gleaned from my grandfather's memoirs on how the pioneer preserved their root crops and their citrus. And I don't have a root cellar, so I'm going to find the coldest, darkest spot on my homestead and store these. Just need a bucket and sand. Let's get some harvesting done. Okay, these are getting quite large. I did thin them out, but look at, they don't need to be thinned out. I'm just gonna go ahead and clip off about 2 inches of the stalk, and these are edible. So you can saute these in a frying pan with butter and garlic and serve them. So we're going to save those in this basket, and we're going to put this on a bed of sand. There's one, and we're just going to thin those out. Just take the biggest ones. Leave the root intact and leave at least 2 inches of the top intact. And when you put them into the bucket, put some sand down. Do not let them touch. So as we pick the biggest ones out, it'll give the smaller ones a chance to grow. Ah, look at this monster. Oh my goodness. I've never seen one so large. Awesome. Here's another monster. Uh-oh. Pulled up a baby. A couple of them. And removing all the large ones will give the smaller ones room for growth. Now, I fortified the soil heavily with chicken and rabbit manure. So this bed, this is the evidence of putting your livestock manure to work for you. Now these should store for a good 6 months and last us through the winter months with fresh turnips to eat. Okay, that's about all. Okay, I'm gonna find a cool, dark place to put this in, and you don't have to do anything more to it, but to have room for another layer, and then you want the most sand on top to prevent oxygen from getting to it, because you don't want them to dehydrate and dry out. This one I'm gonna wash off and prepare, and I'm gonna boil it, and I'm gonna serve it with my dinner. Boiled turnip, just boiled turnip. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful flavor, wonderful texture. It's like eating a potato, but it's not a potato. And that's one way I just really thoroughly enjoy my turnips. Now, my mother grew up at the tail end of the Depression era, and she used to like to buy a turnip and slice it and serve it with a little salt on it and eat it raw, just with a little salt on it. So I might try that too, just to see what my mother experienced in growing up with turnips. Now, most of these turnip greens I get to feed to the chickens and the rabbits. Waste not, want not. Packed full of vitamins and nutrients, but I'm going to save the best ones back, wash them up, and then I am going to saute them in a cast iron skillet in butter and add a little garlic. Yeah, and I'm going to dine on this, the turnip, boiled turnip grains, and I have some fresh squash here. I'm going to cube up some squash, boil that, and serve that with the meal. All fresh from the garden. So that's 3 courses there, plus a choice of meat that I have in my freezer of livestock that went to freezer camp. Maybe we'll eat part of one of the hogs we processed. We'll see. Well, I'm your host, Jerry Hanson. This is Pine Meadows Hobby Farm. I want to thank you guys for sharing this adventure with me. This is a homestead hack of preserving root crops, and I produced another video earlier on how to produce or preserve your citrus crops, gleaned from my ancestors. Yes, listen to your elders. They have a lot of wisdom. Stay tuned to more videos, and especially in the gardening series. This is the harvest time, and once I clear out a piece of the garden, I'll figure out what I can plant at the tail end of August. Yeah, there's still, you can plant every month of the year, just about every month of the year, and then tent during the colder months, so you can pretty much keep a harvest going, especially coming in these uncertain times. I want to point out to you guys that our ancestors were resorted to what they called Liberty Gardens. They would have a couple of rabbits to breed. They used manure to fertilize their gardens. They had a couple of hens. And for the most part, back in the day, they were allowed a rooster, so they can use hens and rooster to make more chickens, to have chicken meat for their fridge and their table, and also have fresh eggs. So you got the protein there. And some urban gardens, yeah, urban. My aunt and uncle had this down in downtown, right in the middle of town in a neighborhood. They even had a milk goat, and the kids would go out and harvest grasses and weeds from a vacant field and feed the livestock, so they didn't have to buy feed for them. So there's food for thought, no pun intended, for getting ready and preparing for what may be coming, because there's a lot of grocers that are right now that are voicing concern over food shortages, but you can take steps now at getting seed. And I know I can get seed online right now, but they may become in short supply. So take advantage of it right now. Don't wait. Get seed. Get ready for next year. Start growing. Start preparing an area for growth. If you don't have an area, do raised beds, or even use the bag of soil that you can buy and grow in that. That works too, so you don't have to buy any containers. Also, learn what grows natively in your environment. Blackberries. In my area, we have madrone, so the bark you can make tea. We have rose hips to glean from. You know, one rose hip has more vitamin C in it than 40 oranges. And I just purchased some rose hip capsules today to boost the immunities with the vitamin C, with vitamin B3 and zinc, for this event that is proliferating right now, especially in our area. I don't know how it's going in your area, but we're going back to step one, and they're starting to require masks mandates in our area. So just be careful, folks. Be safe. Click that bell icon, then subscribe, or subscribe and click that bell icon, and then give us a thumbs up, leave a comment, and like the show. Share my videos on your social media platforms to get the word out, and inform people there's alternatives, there's ways you can harvest food. Learn, like I said earlier, learn what grows naturally around you. You have no reason to go hungry. There's food growing in abundance everywhere. You just got to identify it and know how to prepare it. Be safe, like I said. Always be kind. We'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye-bye now.